Hello, and welcome to the Paul Green Comedy PaulCast. This is for December 27th, 2024, episode 365. Stand-up comedian, actor, improviser, and dreamer Paul Green. As I am coming to you at the end of a year-long journey that I set out to accomplish back on November 30th, which was a personal challenge, a personal goal that I set to see if I can do a daily podcast for a year. And it only took me 13 months to do a year of podcasts. So like 1.1 years to accomplish this goal. And oh my gosh, I was just scrolling through all of the episodes and just reflecting on this last year, everything that has happened, everything I have learned, everything I've learned about myself, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And man, I don't even really know where to begin today. It's kind of a rough day for yours truly. One of the challenges with this podcast is me deciding how personal I want to get, how real do I want to be, how positive do I want to be, how much do I want to put on a face of positivity, even if things aren't great. And that's always been one of the challenges I've navigated as I've opened up to the internet and have really just tried to share the experience of choosing this path of comedy and performance, which I know this is going to sound cheesy, but I say I chose it, but it really feels like it chose me. As cheesy as that sounds, but that's what it feels like. So I have been thinking about a lot of different things, navigating my own personal desires and ambitions and struggles and weaknesses and all of the self-doubt and discouragement that I experience in pursuit of this. And all of the plus sides, all of the little minor victories, successes, and just trying to mix all that up into this casserole of life. And hoping that when it comes out of the oven, it tastes good. And I have been thinking a lot about what do I want to do with this podcast specifically now that I've proven to myself that, okay, I can do it. It wasn't perfect. I didn't get 365 episodes in 365 days, which was my original plan. I'm 27 days behind, meaning out of 365 days, there were 27 of those days that I didn't actually get a podcast out. A lot of those days, it was either because I was traveling or, just got a little busy, or even then, those are excuses. It's just maybe I lost the motivation to hop in and share. But last night, I had a chance to meet with an old high school friend of mine who is now doing coaching, and he met with me last night, and we started talking about this podcast, and he just said something interesting. He said, well, it sounded like the podcast really had two goals. Goal number one was just a self-test. You just wanted to see if you could do it. And he goes, that's kind of like somebody just deciding to run a marathon just to challenge themselves, just to see if it can be done. And he said, and it sounds like you did that. You ran the marathon. Sure, you were hoping to run the marathon in, 4 hours. It ended up taking you 5 hours. You needed to stop a little bit more for water than you had thought, but ultimately you did complete a marathon. So that is to be celebrated. He said the second goal, though, he said, is, which you didn't really have or I didn't really have a specific goal for, which was, could this benefit my career? And he goes, and that seems that it was more of just an experiment. You didn't really have any specific outcomes you were seeking, but you were just curious, if you did this every day, would there be any positive results in regards to your career? And there were definitely some. So he now is saying, moving forward, what you get to decide is, now that you've ran the marathon, do you want to maybe start focusing more on the experimentation side of how this podcast could be of personal benefit? Or are there certain specific goals or outcomes that you would like to see if you could achieve or obtain? And that is something I get to experiment with, and start to think through and determine if there are indeed some outcomes that I would like to achieve. And that's what I get to start really thinking about as we enter into the new year, where everybody is commonly thinking through New Year's resolutions and goals and ambitions and drive and all of that stuff. So that will definitely be part of my thought process moving forward. So I think it is, think it's appropriate now for me just to sign off on this 365-day journey with just sending so much love to everybody who has supported me on any leg of this journey, anybody who has listened, anybody who has commented. And if anything I have said has provided at least even a modicum of support, or even if you have just gained a little bit of peace or understanding, or if you have just felt loved, because despite the flawed human being that I am, and the very real fact I don't always get it right, I don't always do it perfect, but the one thing I can always say is I know that everything that I do comes from a place of love, even if I ain't always doing it right. And I've just got nothing but love for all of you. And it has been a very remarkable journey. So many ups and downs. One loyal listener of mine, who's a buddy of mine, called me once. He's like, sometimes I feel like you're bipolar on this thing. And I can understand that, because there are some pretty high highs and some pretty low lows. But, you know, I guess that is life. So everybody, whatever your dream is, whatever it is that you are seeking in life, first of all, I hope that you can first of all find joy, peace, and love where you are right now. Because although it is always wonderful to have dreams, always wonderful to have ambitions, it's always fun to challenge and to grow and to experiment and to see what you can accomplish in life. I will say that the grass will never be greener than anywhere else than under the feet in which you currently stand. But that doesn't mean that that patch of green grass can grow and expand and introduce new opportunities and new relationships and new loves, and to expand the love and relationships and opportunities and experiences that you have now. So, with that, everybody, this 365-day journey, I conclude with so much love, so much gratitude to all of you. And this may or may not be the end of the Paul Green Comedy Podcast. Let's not, let's not write it off yet. But I am definitely going to be closing out this chapter and taking some time to reflect and regroup and do some personal work on my own to really figure out what's next for me in this regard and in life in general. But signing off this chapter, this journey with so much love, so much gratitude, so much appreciation for all of you. And I hope that all of you are doing wonderful, that your lives are full and full of love. And I'm sending you all of the love that I have on this final episode of the 1 year daily podcast of the Paul Green Comedy Podcast for December 27, 2024, episode 365. I love you all so much. Hopefully this is not farewell forever, but it is a definitely goodbye for now.